Alright, so the purpose of this video is to show you how to use Educreations, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just through my iPad right here. So the first thing you need to look for is this little Educreations icon right here, and it looks like a little whiteboard with a triangle on it. So you can go ahead and click on that. When you click on that, this home screen will come up. Now yours won't look like this because I've been using this app this year, so it has my videos stored there, and eventually this is what it will look like for you. So for now, I just kind of want to take you through what you'll see on the home screen. You'll see this new lesson button up here in the upper left-hand corner, and that is to, of course, create a new lesson, and we will go there in a second. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see this little box with an arrow, and this little box with an arrow allows you to share the videos. So when you click on it, all your videos pop up with this. You can share them on Facebook, on Twitter, through email, and through just a link. It will give you the link to the video. This does not allow you to embed it through your website. You have to do it through a computer, and I will show you how to do that later as well. So once you just press done, that goes away, and it goes back to the regular home screen. And now up here, this button is the trash button, so it allows you to delete videos that you don't want anymore. So of course it tells you that you cannot undo this. Yes, I do understand. What you can do is this one here that says G, that was a sample I had made just to show someone how to use it. So I'm going to delete that one. If I click on the circle, it turns and I can just press delete. It's pretty simple, but once again, now that is gone forever, and we can't get back to it. So I'm going to hit done. All right. So that covers the top part of this toolbar. At the bottom, you'll see it says My Lessons, so you can scroll through and see all the lessons you've created. And then you can also go to Featured. Now this is kind of a cool feature of this because you can look at other people's lessons that they have completed this year, or that they've completed in general, and some of them are pretty good. So it's worth looking at. I mean, some of them looks like took them a lot of time to put together. So I would consider looking at these. Now they won't have your learning target, and they won't have an example of the activity you're going to give them, but it could be good enough for a flip video. Definitely could be more than good enough for a flip video. You can also sort it by subject area, so I could just go to math if I wanted to, and it'd give me all these math videos. Down here in the lower right-hand corner is also settings, and here you can log out of yours, and once you create an account, you'll be able to log in and log out. We're not going to cover that in this video. So I'm going to go back to My Lessons, and now I want to show you just how to create a new lesson. So the point of this video is just to be able to see how this app works. I'm not going to show you what goes into a good flip video because that's what we're going to cover in our session together. But I am going to show you just how to create a video really quickly just so that you know how to do it. So you can click on New Lesson. Feel free to do this along with me. If you prefer to just watch, that is fine too. But if you'd like to do this along with me, I think that would be really beneficial. So you can click on New Lesson and you'll see the screen pop up. It's really basic. There aren't that many tricks to it. So let's just start with the colors at the top. Those are your pen colors. So that's going to write in red right now. If I click on the purple, it'll write in purple, green, and brown. Guess what? It's going to write in brown. Now, of course, we probably don't want it to be limited to 4 colors. So what you can do is if you press on this little arrow up here, you will see that a bunch of other colors pop out for you. So you could write in yellow now, and then it will change it to yellow. The next tool I want to show you is the eraser tool. So the eraser tool right here, you just click on it once, and it acts as an eraser. So it just erases for you. But what you can also do, so if you click on it again, it gives you the option to clear the page or clear the ink. Now in this case, we only have ink on the page. So if I hit, no matter what I hit, it will clear the entire thing. But it's kind of useful if, let's say you have an image on there too. If I just hit clear ink, it only clears the ink. Now if I hit clear page, it clears the whole page. What you can also do is you'll see these arrows at the top, and those allow you to undo and redo. So I can undo, 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 and I can redo, 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 and it goes back. All right, so also on here is the text tool. So I can type something like I can add and subtract multi-digit numbers. I like to use the text tool when I'm putting in learning targets or anything like that, because you just never know how much space you're going to need, and oftentimes it is hard to write on these and get as much text as you want. So then that's there, and if you notice, as soon as I clicked off of that text, the blue hand became illuminated. So what I can do is I can put my cursor or put my finger right on this text here, and you'll see it move. So obviously you can't see my finger, but you'll see it move once I do that. And then I can move the text and move it wherever I'd like to. Once I've moved it, I can still manipulate it and edit it. So if you double click, one click does that, a double click does that, and allows you to go back into it. I can change the size by pressing on these buttons down here. So I can make it smaller and bigger. I can also change the color of the text to whatever I want it to be. Yeah. And then I just hit done when I'm done typing in there. What you can also do is you can also drag in pictures. So there are several ways you can do this. First of all, you can use your camera. So I can take my camera out here and I can take a picture. See, there you go, there's a picture. That's a hideous picture. But there it is, it's in there, and I can move it around. I can also duplicate it, but since that's so hideous, I'm going to delete both of them. And you can get them in that way. You can also get pictures in through your camera roll. And for instance, it might be good in some of these videos to have something you can manipulate to help the kids count, or something with math. You can duplicate them as many as you want. You can delete them just by pressing the delete, just clicking on them and pressing the delete button. You can rotate them, and you can also make them fit the height or fit the width of your page. You can also lock them in place so that you can't move them. Delete that one though, delete, delete. Alright, what you can also do, if you look at the bottom of the page, you can see that there are these two icons down here. Now this first one allows you to change the background. So you can make it line paper, you can make it graph paper, or you can make it a coordinate grid. I'm going to leave it as white paper for now. You could also duplicate the page. So you could do two things. You could either duplicate the page or duplicate the page in ink. So I'm just going to draw a little figure 8 here right now, or whatever that is, a design. And if I hit duplicate page and ink, you'll see that the page as well as the ink is duplicated. If I just hit duplicate page, it will duplicate everything but the ink. So it just duplicated the background as well as the text. You'll also see as I duplicated that it created more pages for me. You'll see that right now I'm on page 1 of 3. Go over, I'm on page 2 of 3. Go over one more. Now I'm on page 3 of 3. So you can use that to set up your slides or set up things ahead of time so that you kind of know where you're going. I like to set up all of my slides ahead of time just so I know, and if I need to, I can usually insert. The only bad thing is once you put a slide in, you cannot delete a slide, and you cannot move the slides one in front of the other. That's just not a possibility. So then once you know how to use all these things, then you can actually record something. So you'll see this button in the upper right hand corner that allows you to record. And let's say I'm gonna record something really quickly, just using this learning target. So here it goes. I'm gonna hit the record button. You'll see I will just start talking into it. Alright, boys and girls, today our learning target is I can add and subtract multi-digit numbers. So I'm going to just show you once again how to do this. I know we've been working on this lately, so this is just to give you a refresher as to how to add and subtract multi-digit numbers. So the first problem I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to pause it because I'm going to put my problem in now and they don't need to see me writing the problem. So I'll put in, let's see, we'll do 341 plus 97. Is 341 plus 97. So I'm sure you remember from class that we always start on the right side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add 1 and 7 together. And I can add those together because they're both in the ones place. 7 plus 1 gives me 8. So now I'm going to move on to the next column. The next column is my tens column. So I know I'm adding 4 tens plus 9 tens. Well, when I do that, I get 13 tens. And I know that I cannot have more than 9 of each type of block in each column. So I know what I have to do then is I have to get rid of this guy and carry him up to the hundreds place, because now, well, 10 tens is 100. So I'm going to carry that one up here, and now I have an extra 1 up there. Then I just do 3 plus 1, which is like 300 plus 100, and I get 438. And that's my final answer, 438. So there I just paused the video because I want to set it up for a new problem. And I'll do a subtraction one this time. But when it's paused, you'll see it's just sitting at 1 minute and 20 seconds up there. So I can do whatever I need to do in between without worrying about it recording, but it's saved everything. So when the kids watch it, it's one fluid video, and but you've had the time to think. So I'm going to go up to my eraser tool, and I'm just going to hit clear ink, because now this will just clear the ink from the page. And then I'm going to set up my next problem. So I will do 327 minus 42. And then I will hit play, and I'll keep going. So now we're going to try a subtraction problem. And in this problem, you're going to have to borrow. So, of course, just like with the addition problem, I'm going to start all the way on the right-hand side. And I'm going to subtract 2 from 7. 7 minus 2. And I can do that because they're both in the ones place. This is 7 ones and 2 ones, or 7 units and 2 units. So 7 minus 2, I know, is 5. So then I'm going to move to my next column, which is the tens column. Now it has me do 2 minus 4, or 2 tens minus 4 tens, or you could think of it as 20 minus 40. Now we can do that, but if we do, it's going to give us a negative number. And we don't want a negative number when we're doing multi-digit subtraction. We want a positive number, at least for our purposes in 4th grade. So what that tells me I need to do is I need to walk over to the hundreds place, and I need to borrow one of those flats and move it over here. So now, instead of just 2 tens, I have 12 tens, because I have 100 plus 20, which is 12 tens. And I can do 12 minus 4. 12 minus 4 ends up giving me, very good, it ends up giving me 8. So now I know that I have 8 tens in that column. And then all I'm going to do from there is go to my third and final column. 2 minus 0, well, that's 2. So my final answer is going to be 285. Now you're ready to try some of these problems on your own, and make sure to bring them into class tomorrow so I can check them. Thanks a lot. So then I pause the video. It's pretty much done. And what I can do now is I can get it into my files or into my bank of videos and put it on my website. So I'm going to hit done, and you'll see it's going to either ask you to save your lesson or start over. The thing that kind of stinks about Educreations is you cannot go back and re-record once you've recorded. So if you're really not happy with your video, start over. If it's not perfect, but it's good enough, I would just save the lesson and use it, because it takes a lot to make these videos, and you're not going for perfection here. So I'm going to save lesson. I'm going to save it as add and subtract multi-digit numbers. Hit next. I usually make them public, because then I don't have to worry about anyone getting into snags with accessing them, and then I'm going to save it. So when you save it, it goes right back into that bank, and now I can click on it. Numbers. So I'm going to just show you once again how to do this. I know we've been working on this lately, so this is just to give you a refresher as to how to. And it plays my video. Now you'll see column 7 minus 2. But even though I put that gap in there, you're not going to hear anything. 8. And that's my final answer, 438. So now we're going to try a subtract. And there it is, perfectly seamless. So that is essentially how to create an Educreations video. I will make another video for uploading it to your website, so you can see that there. The target of this video is just to see how to use it. So what I would encourage you to do, now that you've seen how to use the app, is try and make your own video. The more you do ahead of time, the easier it's going to be for you to make a lesson plan and actually make a video in the workshop. And the more, I think, the better your time will be used there. So thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you.